Welcome to Wine at 9, our weekly wine night discussion. We are your hosts. I'm Jen. This is KG. This is Jerry Joseph.
Is that my line? Okay. So I'm going to kick us off into our wines tonight. I decided to actually not go with a Cabernet. This week I went with Bodega Norton Reserva Malbec from Argentina. I know we've been drinking a lot of California wines lately, so I figured I'd mix it up.
Argentina.
Yeah, Jen went with Cupcake Rosé, and then for KG, we studied how to pronounce this before the show. It's Castello del Poggio Moscato from Italy. So he also decided to leave California this week. So we're also going to toast to Eric. Eric is one of our friends who's been showing a lot of love and support, and he wanted us to toast to small businesses.
Small businesses.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
We'll toast to that, Eric.
Small
Thank
businesses.
you. This is what I've been missing. This is a good wine. It's very light, textured. I don't know if that really makes sense, but it sounds, that's what I think of. It's light, it's textured, robust, nice tannins, good overall finish. I'm totally digging this wine. I'm not sure exactly where I see myself drinking it as of yet, so you guys go into your wines and then I'll think of something.
Heard.
I haven't been able to figure out what I would do with this wine at all since I've been drinking it, because it's, I don't know. This is like not good at all. But I wanted to go with like a blush wine though. So where I went, there was really only two options, and I got both of them. But I chose to drink this one instead because I was familiar with the brand Cupcake.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty popular brand, right?
Yeah. But no, it's not a good wine.
Not really feeling it?
I don't know. I would just have to think for a minute. I don't even know if I would want to eat with this wine. Like, it's just not, it's not that good.
Had I known this was a light body, I wouldn't have went for it. It's not strong at all, but it's not bad. It's definitely on the sweeter side. The notes of peach really pop out. I give it about a 2, to be honest.
A 2?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
guys
give it
both.
Damn, that's
2 strikes. Well, mine's a home run.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I think that's a pattern for you on this.
I would say the more I taste it, I think of it more of an active wine. So I don't actually picture myself like sitting back and like really enjoying it and taking it in. I just imagine I have a busy day planned, or I got a lot of things to do, or I can just see myself moving from one location to the next. If we go, from one restaurant to the next, if you're like day drinking or something like that, this would be a great wine for that. Yeah, I'm definitely.
That's pretty
loving
interesting that you could picture that difference between that wine and other wines, because I feel like anytime I drink, it's always in a sit back, not really go anywhere type thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool, man. All right. As far as the topic for tonight, it's really cool, man. One of the more rich, fruitful experiences I've had in life was having roommates. A lot of young adults go through that situation at some point. Have y'all?
I think he's asking you.
Yeah.
He knows I have.
He said y'all. He said y'all.
Exactly. I know. I'm aware. Yeah. What about you, Jen? You ever had roommates?
Yeah, for
Yeah?
sure.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. Well, was it a good experience or?
I don't think I have any complaints about any roommates that I've had. Some better than others, but I've enjoyed. I'm still friends with some, or probably 50% of the people that I've lived with. So
That's cool.
I've lived with a lot of different people, by the way. So
Yeah, so have I. I've gone through a lot of roommates over the years, and KG is actually one of my one of my old roommates.
We were roommates at one point, man.
How long did we live together?
I shoot for about what? It was more than a year, but I don't know if it was quite 2. So.
wait, I thought you guys lived together for a long time.
I wouldn't say a long time.
I feel like it was a couple years, but I can't
I
really
thought
say.
you said that you guys were roommates for like 7 years.
No.
at
Whoa.
one point.
No.
Okay.
You're way off. But we were roommates together for a good while, and it's actually where the idea for this show came up.
Originally,
Yeah.
yes.
So we drank a lot of wine. We were getting into it. You know, we were both new to it, and we would sit down. And one of my favorite things about being your roommates that we would sit down and talk for hours about like deep philosophical things, and we'd have a lot of conversations with each other that we wouldn't normally have with our friends that just
Yeah.
weren't into that kind of stuff. So
It was
really
it was
cool.
very fruitful having that experience with you.
So wait, why did you guys
Oh,
pick it?
what terminated the?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened there?
We had to break the lease.
No, I'm not even joking. Actually, you know what? And no, this is going to be really interesting.
Say it.
I don't remember the exact the reason. I know we had a disagreement on something. No, I'm so serious,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
I don't remember the particulars about it.
Yeah.
But I felt very right in my positioning. But at the same time, it was just you fill me in on the details. To be honest, man, I remember and I think even
Yeah.
as time came, I admitted a certain wrongdoing or how I might have handled it. But I honestly just can't remember the details at all.
So I was dating this girl, and she was not very good for me at all. You know, she suffered from a lot of mental health issues, and she did a lot of things that we'll just say were frowned upon in a relationship. We'll just leave it at that. But it got to a point where her actions really started to affect me on a like mental, emotional level, and I was like, this is unhealthy for me. She also lived with us, by the way. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
We gotta get into this later. Anyway, people who have significant others that end up, basically moving in and what to do between, when you're dating someone and you live with someone. So,
It was a very
Yeah.
interesting situation, man.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
kicked her.
continue.
Yeah, I kicked her out. I was like, "Look, you got to go. Like for my mental health, you have got to go." And then you, and our other roommate at the time was like, "Oh, she's never done anything bad to us. She's cool. She helps out with the rent. Blah blah blah. We're gonna let her move back in." And I was like, "Oh, are you now? Deuces." And I dipped.
Now, do you remember? Okay, my opposition. Do you remember the grounds on it? Why I was willing to? Because obviously we're all friends, but I made a choice. Do you remember what the basis of that choice was?
Financial reasons.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's why I didn't talk to you for a long time. Like.
Wow. Then I apologize,
Yeah,
man.
I deuced out, and I was like, that was
How
a
do you
cool
not
friendship.
remember that? I
Because
feel like this is
well,
a big deal.
it was, but because I have a different understanding in it. Because I know, I mean, that definitely sounds like something I would have made an argument for, but I looked at it like she was in there because of him. So to kick her out because they're having a disagreement, I thought it was a little unfair. I'm like, she didn't. It's unfortunate, but she's only there because by your request. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and she's gone by my request. Like, what's the issue here?
That's not right, dude. But as a friend, okay.
It's not like I was kicking her out on the street. Like, she had a house to live in with her parents, and everything was fine. She wasn't struggling. She wasn't on the streets. She was okay. She just had to go for my mental health.
Yeah, he didn't say that she was like
Yeah.
someone like a homeless person. He said that she just had mental health issues.
To me, it's besides the point because I'm like, then that's more of then maybe whatever, there are other issues that might need to be addressed there versus just it being, because you say mental health, that's not really, I mean, she didn't give you mental health issues when y'all were good, you know what I mean? Like, that's not fair. That's like, it's,
Well,
you understand? Not to get into an argument about it, but like, that's real, buddy. Like, if you brought her in, tough it out. You can't kick her out because it's not convenient for your mental health. That doesn't process.
yes, I
well.
can. Yes, I can. Absolutely.
If it was your place, oh my God.
It was my place.
See,
It was-
you're just thinking about money. He's like, man, I'm getting fucked
First of all,
up for
well,
this.
I mean, okay.
There was a lot of lying, a lot of cheating. She didn't connect in our reality. Like, she had a lot of, like I said, she had a lot of severe mental health issues, and that's like, it really started to wear on me. And I was like starting to go crazy myself. And I was like, this has got to stop. So she had to go from the place that I lived originally. She's got to go. And so, yeah, you sided with money, thinking that. Here's the funny thing too. You want to hear something funny? He's like, oh, I'm gonna let her live here because I don't want to pay X amount for rent. So I was like, all right, I'm out. Deuces, right? And I
so
literally
way back.
moved out, and I was like, obviously, I'm not paying for shit. because I don't live there. And then like 2 weeks later, she's like, I'm gonna leave too. I was like, I didn't tell her, I didn't influence her, but when she did, I was like, that's kind of funny though. That's real funny. So yeah.
That I will say this though, that was definitely.
How much was the rent?
It wasn't much, but still, I mean, especially it was really cheap when you have 3 people living together. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, there were definitely perks to having a very occupied situation, but that's tough, man. That's tough because I promise you. I mean, money probably did play a big role in it, but it's almost like I just look at it, and I'm not arguing it. I stand firmly. I don't like to kick anybody out, and I think that's what I mean. At least not a girl. At least not a girl. Like it was tough.
They're just humans, just like the rest of us.
That could be a whole nother episode, brother. I get what you're saying. I guess just on principle alone, man. I just couldn't do it. And this is why you have contracts. You know what I mean? Like it was just a real ugly situation in terms of like, because you weren't even on a lease or anything like that. So it was like, yeah. So it was.
Oh, so yeah, you were just. It was easy for you to go because you were on the lease. So.
No. I mean, no. What I'm saying is that it would have been better had we discussed, hey man, if her and I don't work out, then I need to understand. None of these things were discussed. That's what I meant by contractually. It's like, you were just like, hey man, she can come. I was like, we're cool with it. I just didn't think it was fair on a whimsical to do it.
It wasn't whimsical. I mean, she had been lying and cheating for months and months and months. We used to talk about this in great detail.
No, I'm aware. I know y'all, the relationship was very rocky, but I'm talking about in terms of us. She really didn't do anything to us. So it's like, we brought her in. You put the girl out on the streets because he's.
I put her out on the streets.
No.
She had a
house.
house.
No. I know. I'm just like me and we were staying. My girlfriend stayed there too, at the time.
That's a lot of people in one house.
It's just 4 people, 2 couples. It didn't feel like a lot. We all got along except for the ones that were, I don't know, lying and cheating. We didn't get along. Everyone else seemed to be doing just fine.
It was an overall great experience, though, man. If I'm being honest, dude. So.
Was it a house?
It was an apartment.
It was an apartment.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was cool that, I mean, one cool thing about having roommates, especially in an apartment or anything like that, and especially at our age, is that rent is cheap, utilities are cheap, which is a reason why a lot of people have roommates. You know what's crazy? Actually, I think it's 30%, about 33%. A third of Americans between the age of like 18 and 65 have roommates.
I believe it.
Yeah, which is up, I think 9% over.
I always act surprised when I ask some, like when I'm first meeting somebody and then we start talking and they mention something about a roommate. I always feel like I get surprised, but it happens so much that like I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's so many people, especially in Atlanta. And if you're like a single guy, like you don't want to have like a whole house to yourself, so you let your friend move in,
do.
I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get it in a major, especially in a major
some dudes
city.
don't. I think here's the deal. I can understand why a roommate would be beneficial, but I think as a man you should not, if you can do it without it.
Well, I'm sure, but it's almost a thing too, as far as like money, not just helping someone. Like, all right, let's say a man, has a house. And he might rent a room out because he can to make extra money, Like a lot of it's monetary things, like, not just in the sense of I want cheaper rent, but
that would still
I want to
technically
make
be a
money.
roommate. Yeah, you're right.
If you can, don't. I mean, if you can do without, do it.
Half of the adults that live in LA have roommates. Half of them.
That's crazy.
Okay, yeah. You want to know why? You know how
LA,
ridiculous?
It's
expensive.
It's just
Price.
stupid. I was actually having this conversation earlier. Someone, not earlier, maybe yesterday. Someone was talking about living out in California and how ridiculous it is, because even when you live, like something like this would be like $1 million in LA. So, and this is a studio, but there's apartments like this in LA where they have, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, super small, and it would cost like a lot of money. So I'm sure plenty of places in California, a lot of people have roommates.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in major cities, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, just the cost of living in America is rising.
Yeah.
You know, so we see a lot of people that have roommates. You know, a third of all adults have some sort of roommate. And then you talk about the number of people that have not just one job, but multiple jobs or a side job or a side hustle.
Yeah.
It's getting hard. It's getting hard out here for a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're cutting corners, saving money where we can, and living with other people is now part of that process.
Yep. That is not a good thing, man.
I just want to have a roommate because I don't want to live alone. I just feel like it's lonely. You know, do you guys ever get lonely?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not like,
Well,
no.
you always have plans too, so imagine somebody who doesn't have plans all the time or isn't so popular like you, like with all the always wanting to hang out with Jerry Joseph.
What's
you
a
know?
player to do? I don't know.
No, but a lot of people get lonely with no roommate. You know, people just want somebody to come home to. You know, people who are single. You know what it's like.
yeah,
you know,
Get a girlfriend or boyfriend.
I mean, but
That comes with their own, you know,
Yeah.
perks and disadvantages.
No, see, but ultimately that's the end game. Like people, that's why I always say friends, they're a part of the process of life, but the end game is happiness and a loved one, like you know, family and all that stuff, you know. Like,
well, maybe not everybody has the same purpose. Some people like being single.
I would.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean, but I have a hard time believing that
Because
a lot of
you
people are
don't like
sincere
being
about
single.
that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He
Yeah.
doesn't like being single. I like
being
being
single.
alone now. Like, in my apartment. I like being alone in my apartment.
I like being alone and then hanging out with friends. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Oh my
I
god.
don't
This is
wanna
my
be
space.
alone.
I like
God.
my space to just be my space. I like to decorate it any way I want, keep it as clean as I want. I enjoy living alone now. When my
Well-
ex moved out, I hated it though. It was
Yeah,
super
exactly,
weird.
because you missed coming home to someone.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's my point, Jen.
you do.
That is
you
my
do-
point.
You do get adjusted.
It comes with exactly adjusted. That's
Yeah,
it.
but
That
I
is
feel
a-
like he wouldn't feel so bad if he came home to a roommate like you or something, you know?
No,
It
definitely.
is
No,
ad-
we can. I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying a roommate situation would be a disaster for me. I'm saying that it's just a means to get to that point of being happy with just your significant other. It's like because friends can always come and go. Like like you were just saying, like you can be lonely and it gets lonely. I mean, I even get lonely, and that's when I pick up the phone. If you are a normal human being that has friends and loved ones, like you can always create that. But to say that you're in my home all the time, I reserve that spot for one person. If I mean, obviously I've had roommates, but the end game is just the relationship. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't see any other way. I mean, yes, you're single. I mean, just like me right now, the loneliness is real, but there are ways around that besides bringing somebody in. So
You can get 2 cats like I did.
I got a dog, homie.
Yeah.
That's my homie, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't get to come home to my dog. You always have to have a dog.
Mm.
Or an animal, I guess cats too. Your cats greet you at the door. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't have cats to do that though, so you're lucky.
My cats are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So before we go any further, let's go ahead and switch wines again. Let's taste each other's wine. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Switch it up.
I'm gonna try. Ugh, I know I'm not gonna like this.
Yeah,
I already
put that
know.
Malbec.
Oh,
Maybe you might.
I won't.
This smells good.
Okay. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, it's awful.
Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Both of these are not good at all. We're gonna have to start spending $50 every week on wine.
How do you feel? How'd you feel about this one?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was light, lots of flavor. It's active, textured. I feel like I would be active while I'm drinking it. But I feel like there's some
light.
definitely some texture to it, which I enjoy. This is very, it's a rosé, so obviously it's going to be crisp and light, a little sweet, but
Yeah,
I
this
like that
one's
it's not
way
too
too
sweet.
sweet. This one's way too sweet. You're not gonna like this one at all.
All right, let's do it.
I'm just gonna pour me a glass of your wine, Joseph.
Sharing is caring. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
I knew you wouldn't like that.
Oh no, he can't do it.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
God, it has
Yeah, yours is terrible.
It tastes almost carbonated. Yeah,
It just tastes like carbonated sugar grapes.
yeah, it's like a very sweet. No, you can. I'm gonna take my shot. Definitely taking mine.
I
back.
might pour that back in the bottle just to have some of yours. I don't know if I can stomach that. Did you try mine?
I did. I actually enjoyed it.
You
Oh,
like
well
it?
then here.
Yeah, nice and crisp.
Yeah, chug it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Really?
chug it. No, I want to see bottoms up.
Chug it, bro.
That's
yeah.
what we said.
Yeah. For something, because cupcake isn't very expensive, right?
No.
For something that cheap, if I was into like those type of wines, I could see that being
Gotta pour.
a good one. But then again, I don't know much about sweet.
Honestly, this is the only time I ever drink wine, ever. And I just try different stuff. And I picked that up because normally I like I like Bel Air Rosé. Have you ever had that?
What's it called?
Bel Air Rosé?
No.
No, that's a good rosé, but clearly that's like upscale rosé. But I just grab that real last minute. And
It's got good
Yeah.
tannins though. I didn't enjoy that. I don't have anything to compare. I haven't had too many Malbecs though to really know like. That's pretty good though.
Yeah, there is a difference between Cabernets, Merlots, and Pinot Noirs, Malbecs, stuff like that. If I had to take a test right now and tell you the difference between each one, I couldn't. I just tell you which ones I definitely know that I pick up and that I enjoy the most. And so far, it's Cabs and then Pinot Noirs. Pinot Noirs are
Yeah.
like my second favorite. So I might get one of those next week. I think
Okay.
that'd be good.
Facts.
All right, so talking about roommates, we're talking about how a third of adults in America have a roommate. A lot of them do it for financial reasons. I think the second, in the research I was doing, the second reason.
the top two.
What were the top two?
I probably shouldn't drink before this show. I shouldn't drink before we start drinking.
Lord have mercy.
Now I forgot what it was. It was like, I think it was friendship, emotional connection. I don't know.
Oh, it was with.
We'll do it in the little thing. We'll do the little info thing right here.
That'll work.
And it'll pop up and say whatever. It'll say whatever it is.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is one of the better aspects of having a roommate that you enjoyed in all your experiences? Like, what in particular?
For me,
Yeah.
it was definitely the financial freedom. Like,
it's more money. Yeah.
yeah,
so like,
having
yeah.
more money in your pocket definitely helps because I got to do more stuff and like I could just take time off from work because I don't need that much money, which was amazing. I think in my first apartment it was 4 dudes. We all moved in together, and our rent was I think $200 a month each or something like that. Like it was ridiculous. I think with all of our bills, cost me I think 2 maybe 2.5 days of work out of the month, and then my rent was paid. All my bills and utilities were paid for 2.5 days. So for the rest of the month, if I wanted to just dick off or just just go on vacation, I could, and it was amazing. So definitely the financial reason, and I do like. I like having someone that was there to do things with. Normally, I do a lot of things with my roommates. Go out to different events and stuff like that. That's probably those are probably my favorites.
See, I'm more like. Actually, one of the things I appreciated about you is, I mean, we had a lot of time engaged in like social stuff, like in terms of like us being out, but also you could be in your room and I could be doing my thing, and like that was just that was fine. For instance, I had another roommate that if we went too like much time without talking, it would bother him. Like there was an expectation on social
Was
interaction.
that him? Sounds like a her.
It's debatable. But yeah, and I was like, sometimes I just want to be left like left alone. And I
Yeah.
think that's why ultimately roommates is a bad, you know.
You have to respect each other's space, and each other's bubbles, right? What about you? Have you had any like really great roommates or really?
Yeah, I've had great roommates. I said I was still friends with most of my roommates, half of them at least. But there were a few that, no, I'm not. I don't speak to them anymore. Because it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, it was one of those things where I was so uncomfortable that I like moved back in with my parents while I was like waiting on that lease to end. You know what I mean? Like, where I was like, I'll just go do my own thing.
Well, there's that saying: "Move in friends, move out enemies,"
Yeah.
which for me only applied to, I think, 2 people.
Really?
Yeah, they were pieces of shit. Fuck them.
When you were really young or like recently?
It's a really long time ago.
Okay.
Our lease had ended at our apartment, and so I was gonna move back in with my parents. And these 2 guys were like, "Oh, we don't have anywhere to live, and blah blah blah. We don't have anywhere to go." And I was like, "All right, cool. Tell you what, I'll get a townhouse. It's a 3-bedroom townhouse, and then you guys can move in with me, and you'll have a place to stay." And they're like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And then after a while, like they were both bad on drugs, and they decided they weren't gonna pay rent anymore, and we started getting eviction notices, and they actually took them down and hid them, threw them away, whatever. So I had no clue they weren't paying rent. I get home one day, and then there's an eviction notice on my door that they didn't get to in time. And I went to the leasing office. I was like, what's going on? And she's like, "You're being evicted." I was like, "When?" She's like, "Oh, as of today." She's like, "We've been giving you notices for months. Have you not seen them?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Oh, you can argue this in court." I was like, "All right, cool. When?" She goes, "Oh, 5 o'clock." I was like, "What the fuck? Today?" Yeah, today. It was ridiculous.
That's crazy,
They were
man.
very
Wow.
shitty. But everyone else has been really, really great. KG has been one of my favorite roommates, along with my friend Chelsea. Chelsea was phenomenal. That's my party girl. We did so much together. Really loved her.
I agree with that, Ben. When you say respect for each other's space, because the experiences that I had that were more negative, that's ultimately like the number one thing, man. It's really difficult, and I think because it's 2 people and sharing that's difficult. That's difficult. People have their own little things, For instance, like maybe something simple as like playing music too loudly or being too loud. Having people over. I want to ask you something. When we were roommates, was I outside of maybe philosophical differences we might have had, in terms of like living in the same space, was I easy to get along with?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't recall any issues other than me kicking my girlfriend out at the time. I can't really think of any other issues that we had.
Girl out.
But I kicked her out of where we lived back into her home, her comfort level, her situation. She was fine. Removing her from my presence. Yeah. Healing. Healing, emotionally healing, mentally healing, yeah. During that process, yeah, that's the only issue that we came up with. So
Okay, I like to think that I'm a good person to like share a habitat with, or none of my roommates ever complained. They told me I was pretty, so I always try to just be chill about things for the most part.
what about you? Do you think you'll have more roommates in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to live alone. I said that earlier, I thought.
I think yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So are you like looking for a roommate?
No.
No, you're
No.
cool with yeah.
No, not right now. I'm cool with, just right now I stay with my mom because, well, a lot of reasons. My mom's alone, so I stay with her. So if
Companionship, yeah.
yeah, she'd be mad if she saw this and heard me say that because she doesn't like for me to talk.
Say that's my roommate.
But yeah, no, I like staying with her because she's the best. She really is. So we get along great.
The worst experience you had as far as roommates?
Remember that time I told you about the story where those 2 guys didn't pay rent and I got evicted that day?
Does it?
That was the worst. Yeah, that was the absolute worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Oh,
worst.
no,
stories I've
wait,
ever heard.
actually, so before that happened, I had a 3-bedroom apartment and it was me and 3 girls. And for some reason, I do not know why, but these 3 girls decided they wanted to share a bedroom together. I know, we had 2 bedrooms, they could have just, did 2 and 1. But they were like, no. All 3 of us in the same bedroom. And we're just going to leave this other bedroom empty. And I was like,
You and the 2 girls?
3. I live with 3 women.
You were living with 3 women.
Yeah.
And
They all wanted to live in the same bedroom.
including you.
No.
No.
I had my own
Okay.
I had my own bedroom, but the 3 of them wanted to live in the same bedroom. And I was like, that's weird since we have a whole extra bedroom. But okay, do you. Whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. And, the whole thing about like living with a female, they say it's a little bit more difficult than living with a guy. Yeah, 3 of them together in the same room was a nightmare after a while. Like, it was just absolute chaos, and they were always fighting and yelling. And I'm like, leave the room. Like, go to the other room. Go somewhere else.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was.
This is the weirdest story I've ever heard. That is so strange to me. Like, what would they fight? I mean, clearly, the fights would be endless at that point.
Yeah, they were about anything and everything.
So I don't understand. Like, they had so many options to remove themselves from that situation.
Yeah.
But, like, no, I'm just, like...
Yeah, I don't get it either. I'm like,
Wait, so did they share a bed? They fit
No.
3 beds in one room. I mean, it's an apartment. I can't imagine the room being that big.
It was the master bedroom, but it was, from what I remember, there were 2 beds, and then like one either slept with.
Why didn't you have the master bedroom?
I don't know. That's where my room was when I moved in before they moved in.
Oh.
It was like I had an apartment with 4 dudes, and then eventually everyone moved out or got girlfriends or did whatever, and it was just me with all my party friends. And then these girls were like, "Hey, yeah, we want to live here." I was like, "Live here." It wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done.
Did they knew each other previously before that?
Yeah, 2 of them were sisters, and then one was just a random girl that we were friends with. I don't know. I mean, I can understand the logic at all. And I was like 22 at the time. I still can't understand it now.
Here in Noonan, where y'all
Yeah,
live? Okay.
yeah, it was crazy, but I feel like that's a lot about roommates. A lot.
Yeah.
So let's do some final thoughts. Jen, you started off. You've been awfully quiet tonight.
I think I enjoy roommates. I always have a good experience. So I think I would do it again. And I look forward to it. I want to have a house and then, maybe rent out a room, make some money while I have a nice roommate.
I think it's a smart decision to make. If you have the option to have a roommate, obviously, like, choosing a roommate is very difficult. But if you can find a really good roommate, get out.
my fault. No, you so passionate, bro. I'm like, man, till that shit goes bad. I promise
Yeah.
you, man.
If you have like my friend JP, she was a phenomenal roommate. I love her. I mean, if you have a really great roommate, I'm all for it. I think that it's actually preferred.
You've lived with a lot of women.
Yeah. Are you saying something?
I'm just saying.
All right.
Every time we talk about roommates, you always there's
There's a lot
Most
of
of my friends are women. Most of the people in my life
That's
are women. What about you, KG? Well, let's hear your final thoughts.
I don't believe in it. Wait, listen. I did. Damn, this wine. This is the first one. Good Lord. That cheap wine will get you there. No, but yeah, don't. It can be beneficial, but if you can do without, do without. Because I've seen so many situations in which it didn't work out, and it could just be a disaster, man. I'm not either for or against. I just say it. I'm very. To me, with men, it's a little bit different. My perspective is a little bit different because I have a territorial part to me. You know what I mean? I see most men have it in them. It might be dormant if your situation is more like you're in need, but it's like ideally you want your own space because you want to be able to call the shots. You know what I mean? And I learned that over time. It's like roommates is cool, especially when it's good friends. But if I can afford to just do it on my own, I will.
Oh yeah, I would do the same.
Yeah.
I can afford to live by myself, and I would prefer that over roommates. But I don't frown upon roommates because those roommates are dope. It's a good place to end it, I guess.
Facts.
All right. So to Eric and to small businesses.
Small business.
Small business. Thank you, Eric. We'll see you guys next week at Wine at 9, every Sunday, 9 p.m.
Cut.